And we're back.
We're back.
We're back for our part 2 of the first episode of the Cerose and Donna show.
The Cerose and Donna show. I love it. What is it? CD? The CD show.
The CD show that has
So
a ring to it.
cute.
Or should it be like DC show?
There we go. DC for Donna and Cerose. There we go.
Welcome back to the DC show.
DC.
That kind of rolls off, no? Or the CD show?
I was thinking CD, like, what does CD stand for, actually?
Compact disc.
There.
Like
cassette. Okay, compact disc versus like DC. What would DC stand for? Just Donna and Cerose.
Like the District of Columbia is kind of what
that's what DC is.
Yeah.
Period. But it doesn't matter.
It's not that DC.
CD, DC, Donna and Cerose.
Yes.
Regardless.
Welcome back to the Donna and Cerose show.
I love it. So we are back with part 2. Part 1 was cut a little bit short. They were so rude.
It's my fault.
They kicked us out, y'all.
Next time. Well, I didn't realize we were going to be like... First of all, I didn't realize you were going to be taking over.
Girl.
Second of all, I didn't realize that it was going to be like as long as it was either. I'm like, oh yeah, like an hour. That's like cute and short, you know. But like Cerose out here putting on her interviewer hat.
Girl, I'm not
talking about things that I have not dug into to this degree.
That's one of my superpowers. I'm telling you, like I'm curious, and so I ask all the questions, want to get to know people, all that good stuff. So that's like people will come and they'll think, oh, it'll be like an hour or two. No, I'll talk to you for 3, 4, 5, 6 hours. I don't care.
Next time we're shutting the library down.
No, absolutely. Like we're renting it out for the whole day, like so we can continue to have these conversations. But now that we're back in here, I'm at Donna's place, y'all.
She's in the Nook. The only other person I've had in the Nook has been my dad. Years ago, we did like an episode for Father's Day.
Oh, yeah. That's so cute. I'm honored.
Yes.
I'm honored to be in the Nook.
Second person in the Nook. First friend in the Nook.
I'm literally so honored to be in the Nook now that we're here. First of all, y'all, I'm gonna tell you something real quick. Donna's house is so nice. I pulled up and I said, oh, this is nice. No roaches or anything. Oh. I'm just kidding. It's cute, but I pulled up because we were talking about how we lived kind of like in a like close proximity, right? And I was like, oh, I live on this street. And she's like, girl, what? I live on this street. And then so when I pulled up over here, you just never know what to expect, right? But I pulled up and I was like, wait a damn minute. I was like, this is real nice. This is a cute little neighborhood, very established. And then this is my first time seeing kind of like her vibe, like as well in terms of, because I feel like you can learn a lot about people from their homes, right?
Yeah.
I walked in here and I'm like, this is just beautiful. There's like stuff and color. Because I'm one of those boring beige bitches. I'm sorry. Really? Like, it's dude. That's why I say you have to see my house. Like, because you'll see it's contrary to my personality, I think.
Oh, interesting.
Yeah, because I am so like a crackhead 24/7. I think like having the calmer and like neutral colors, like I don't know, it does something to me. But at the same time, I always think to myself like, oh, I want to do color, I just don't know how. And I think I put them together and then they look ugly, and then I'm just like, but this is beautiful. Really oh, okay, go ahead. It's gorgeous in here. Like I walked in here, it's so colorful. Do you see this pink ass wall?
Yes.
Like I'm like, I want one.
I think it's pink peony is the color, the name of the color.
I need her to come and decorate my house like with the setup that she has going on, because it's gorgeous in here. I'm telling you, like you need to do a house tour for your viewers one day. Like obviously don't show your street signs, like,
right? Like my address is,
but like the decoration and stuff, because this could definitely give like, you know, some inspiration. Because I walked in here and I was like, oh, I'm inspired for sure.
Yeah,
it's a cute place. But to get back to the topic at hand, because we are doing a part 2. I was thinking during earlier conversation, you know, as far as like the whole, you're not sleeping with anybody or whatever, right? You're more so big on connection, like mentally, emotionally versus physical connection. We're going to play a little game right now, right? It's going to be like, it's a what if game. It's a what if game, like a scenario based game. And I need you to answer honestly, Donna, don't lie to me because I know you're lying. So connection, right? Mentally, emotionally, super important. We can all agree.
You're
let's
like,
say,
fuck all that.
right? I'm like, let's say, right, you're seeing this guy because you're not sleeping with
I
him.
feel like I'm blushing already.
You're seeing them for a long time, you know, things are going good or whatever.
Mhm.
He finally gets to that point for you where you're like, you know what? I think I'm finally ready to take my call. You know what I mean? I'm finally ready to get to that next step. Y'all are getting into it. You're doing the two. He's small. He's small.
This man is 6'8".
Right. I'm not even saying just him in general. I'm saying like in a general senses. You're seeing somebody, you finally build up to that point of like extreme passion, like, yes, let's do this. Gets in there and you're like, are you in yet? And he's like, I've been in. Like, it's small, dude. What are you doing? Do you think that that would be like a deal breaker for you in any relationship? Like, because it's like a challenging question, right? Because we
Yeah.
love to say, you know, this part of connection is you value that maybe even more so than physical connection, but physical connection is still very important. So let's talk about it. Be honest. Don't lie to me, girl.
No, I'm not. I just like, I might have been around the block a couple times. In the times that I have, okay, here's the thing.
Okay.
There are two guys that come to mind.
That was small.
Yeah. Like, yeah.
She doesn't want to say just
I don't because I feel like they can't do anything about it. Well, actually, I think there are technologies that like nowadays
can
that
extend it.
yeah, like there are different things like that I've heard about. Actually, particularly on the Diary of a CEO, he had somebody on there recently discussing in particular like how men have gotten implants in certain ways. It's like it's a whole thing. Like you'd have to check out the Diary
I'm
of the
gonna have to check
CEO,
it
and
out.
I
I
can't
didn't know.
remember the name of the person that he had on or what the title episode was. But like if you saw it, like I think
Yeah.
it was a recent episode. If you saw it, you'd be like, oh, like this is probably in there. Anyway,
Breaking news.
breaking news, and respectfully, like if the two guys that I'm thinking about, if they did that, it would probably help. Respectful, like, oh, like I'm sorry, I don't mean it in that way. I just like really,
I love it.
I think it would help.
Right.
You know what I mean? Like because you can't put a pencil through like a an appropriately sized rubber band. You know what I mean? Like that's not really gonna do anything.
Yeah.
And so I didn't like them enough already. Going back to where I was sleeping with people too soon, this would be that. So like it wasn't enjoyable and it was like a one time and that was it.
Damn.
Not because of that, but we didn't establish compatibility and like an actual foundation of a potential relationship.
Yeah.
Because we moved too quickly there. So like had I maybe built a relationship with them of sorts, like and then that happened, I don't know because I've not been in that situation before. But if man, I don't
hypothetically,
know.
girl, theoretically.
So I think hypothetically in my mind, in like the best answer that I can think of, I'm like, well, if you have other methods of which to provide pleasure, then that's fine. But like if we're just sitting up here like and you think that's the only way, or we're not using like toys or like stimulating me in other like ways, like then that's not going to work. You know what I mean? But that's what I got. But I really hope that's not. And to be honest, I want to find out.
Yeah.
I can't. Yes, I want to find out. I'm sweating again.
Girl, I can't wait to hear all about it. Obviously not, but, but I'll be like, so where are we now in the relationship?
You'll know because I'll just be glowing the whole time.
Oh, I love it. So one thing about me, which I feel like y'all already know, having hung out the few times that we have, I'm a certified man hater.
I have learned.
Yes, I support women's rights and wrongs, though. Like, a woman will never be wrong to me. Yeah. I'm like, if you do something, I'll be like, what did he do to make you do that? Like, that's fair.
That is, I would say 95% of the time, that is like That's me. Like if
Exactly.
I got stories about some shit that I pulled.
Yeah. Oh,
I do. Wait, never mind. Not
yeah.
no, because
Maybe
you're gonna ask
off
me,
camera later.
right?
Maybe I'm trying
Right?
to keep it PG. Well, it's
No,
PG, PG-13 maybe.
we
Uh,
are at R. Are you kidding? We talked about size. Like, there's no more PG-13.
I'm so dead. But I have to ask, right? Because I'll talk about how men can be toxic all day, every day.
Yeah.
What do you think is like your most toxic trait? Some self-reflection, right?
My toxic trait has been expecting men to operate in the fashion of which I'm operating, or make decisions, or have transparency, or vulnerability, or accountability in the manner of which I hold myself. And
Yeah.
I can't do that to people.
You know what? I hear you on that because when you first said that, my mind immediately went to, so what you're saying is men ain't shit. And I agree. I can concur. But after sitting and listening for a little bit, it seems more so as it's almost like it's you have expectations, right?
Yeah.
And it's okay to have expectations.
Right.
But you're no longer, I guess, imposing is not the word, but like, you know what I mean? Holding
Yeah.
other people to those same
expectations.
expectations.
Yeah.
Okay. And why do you think that is toxic per se?
Because it's not really allowing the person to just be who they are. And it's not reasonable for me to have expectations that they can never meet, because that's not who they are. That's not who they're going to be.
Yeah.
And so I think the toxicity part of it is like maybe me wanting to control situations or outcomes, and imparting those onto someone else that they're just not going to be either willing or capable of obtaining. So
Yeah.
yeah.
I agree with that. That's cool. I like a little self-reflection
Yes,
moment.
I have self-reflected a lot.
Yeah.
And I've done a lot on this podcast. I mean, not on the CD podcast, or
the CD,
the
DC,
excuse me, the DC podcast. But yeah, it's like recognizing my own behaviors, and then also like, especially recently, I've been in such like probably the last like maybe 4 or 5 years more in a spiritual awareness, and the sort of like spiritual awakening where I'm like, I've given my power away too much. That's the problem. And I have gotten to a place now where I can understand more of what my power is. And so that being like, okay, well, someone moves in this way, instead of trying to get them to change, which is giving my power away, which is like waiting for them to do something differently, waiting for them to like have this revelation or whatever. Let them do them. I'm going to remove myself.
Yeah.
Because literally the only power that I have is being able to control what I'm going to do.
Yeah.
And how I'm going to move. And sometimes that looks like walking away from situations instead of letting someone do or say things to me. I just need to remove myself. And so then that also upholds more respect for me.
Yeah.
Right? Like, if I say I respect myself, am I showing I respect myself if I just let someone keep talking to me in a certain way, or like treating me in a certain way? So it's reframing and rethinking my own actions, and backing my words with my actions.
I hear you. So from what I'm hearing, you've been the queen. You've been the one to be like, yeah, I'm breaking up with you.
Yeah.
Right? Majority of the time.
Yeah.
Okay. So what's the worst date that you've ever been on? Like absolutely worst. Or is there a worst?
Yeah, I have, I guess one more recently that comes to mind. I wouldn't say like it was fine, but it was like it was probably like we went to dinner and we were in and out within like an hour.
Dang.
For dinner, that's kind of like, that's pretty fast.
Yeah.
You know? The problem here was like, this man, he's Russian, and he had only been here for a couple years, and his English wasn't conducive to the point where we could have a conversation. To the degree to which I like to have conversations, right? Like if he spoke Spanish, we'd be okay.
Yeah.
Right? Like we'd have been fine, but I don't speak Russian. And I can't understand if he tries to then throw in a Russian word, because I don't have a basis of it. it's not even like maybe if he spoke Portuguese, you know what I
Mm-hmm.
mean? Or like French or Italian, like
Mm-hmm.
we need a Latin based
Yeah.
language for me to be able to be like, oh, okay,
Mm-hmm.
it's probably this, you know?
Mm-hmm.
But anyway, so like that was just a super mediocre and like somewhat painful of like, we're not going to
Same.
go anywhere. Like,
Yeah.
we can't even really understand each other.
So did he try to like reach out to you again and basically like, girl, we should go on another
No,
date?
actually, I didn't hear from him after that. And so I think it was like the next day I had reached out. Like he didn't make sure I got home safe. Like, you know what I mean? Like
But
none of that.
gross.
So the next day I was like, hey, thanks so much again, for dinner or whatever. It was nice to meet you, but like I don't want to pursue this further, blah. And I can't remember like what he said, but yeah, I just like didn't want to portray that I was still interested.
Yeah.
And there were other things too, like outside of the language barrier, but like he didn't really have community. He didn't really have like hobbies, like, those things part of
Mm-hmm.
the application slash checklist. Like he wasn't checking none of them above
Nah, no
like a
vaccine.
three. Yeah. So, yeah.
Oh, that's so unfortunate. That like literally
Yeah.
brought back flashbacks. My most recent ex-boyfriend was a Russian man.
Oh,
Lord have mercy. I'm like, you're not missing too much out there.
yeah.
So the style of dating is like totally different and like stuff
Really?
like that. Yeah, it's more like controlling, but it's
Oh,
like
okay.
you knowing me and
Yeah.
somebody trying to control me. It's
Right.
like, oh God,
That's
it
not
was a
gonna
lot
work.
of butting head and pushbacks. And of course, everybody's different or whatever. I've talked about the Russian man on my socials and stuff like that. So I'm
Mm.
literally like, oh, I feel
Tell
like
me
I'm
about
getting
the Russian man,
girl, I'm
girl.
getting PTSD.
Oh, okay. Too
Like,
soon. Too
he was
soon.
just like he was nuts, and with like no, he was genuinely like
Yeah.
crazy, like um. And I feel like most of like my pull towards him was more so like he was a provider in every
Mm,
sense. And so it was kind of just like for me, like I could turn my brain off, like
yeah.
finally, because it's like I've been divorced for 4 years and I had not been in any sort of a relationship. Like maybe like a fling here or there, like after, like right after my divorce, within like that first year. But then I actually went through like 3 years of celibacy. And
Mm.
then so I met
Until the
him.
Russian man?
And then I met him
Okay.
and I was like, okay, like, I was like kind of breaking down all those walls or whatever and stuff like that. Got together and he was like super cool, but kind of like how you mentioned before, where you introduce your kids,
Yeah.
and I don't know how to do any of this. I'm like, this is the first time I'm dating since I've been divorced.
Yeah.
So it's kind of just like, yeah, meet my kids, like see how they get along and like all that stuff. But I think that it was a lot of overstepping, right? Because,
Oh, of like parental. Oh,
yeah, because
interesting.
I'm like,
Okay, so how long after you guys started dating did you introduce your kids?
like 3 or 4 months.
Okay.
Yeah.
I think
But
that
it was
seems
like,
like probably a respectable time.
yeah, but it was like he was so obnoxious because my boys, they have like longer hair,
Mm.
and their dad has longer hair, and little boys like to be like their dad, and stuff like that, and constantly, it's I'm getting comments about like, oh, beautiful babies, boy or girl or whatever, and I'm like, but
Mm.
clearly that's a boy. He just
Yeah.
like has long hair, but I think he took that to heart. Like whenever he was around them, we would go to the parks together and stuff like that, and then he would just be like, people are always commenting about how the boys have long hair and they're saying they look like girls or whatever. Like, you need to cut their hair, so they're gonna get made fun of or whatever, and like stuff like that. And I would go to my kids and be like, are you a boy or a girl? I'm a boy. Like, they would laugh at me,
Yeah.
like, what are you asking me, mom? Of course I'm a boy. And then I'd be like, do you like your hair? Yeah, I like my long hair. I want to keep my hair long, like, and stuff like that. And I'm like, then that's all that
That's all.
matters to me.
Yeah.
Like, but it was a lot of pushback. Stupid things like I would say the kids couldn't have ice cream, right? Because it's like 9 p.m. or whatever, they're about to go to bed.
Yeah.
I don't need any
Right.
sugar rushes. Next thing I know, I'd come downstairs, the boys were having ice cream. And I'm like, I just said they couldn't do it. And then
Wait,
he's
did
like,
he like not, I don't want to say live with you, but like he was
no.
just like over
Yeah,
enough.
long
Okay.
distance too. So because he's based out in New York, so
Oh.
he would like come and see
Oh,
like
yeah.
us, and then he would be at my house while he was staying there, and it was just like constant like overstepping and
Yeah.
undermining me like as a parent, and
Oh,
yeah,
that is tough.
yeah.
Yeah, that would make my mama bear claws come out.
Yeah,
I totally get
yeah,
that.
because it's
Yeah.
like my kids, like it's hard because when you're dating, especially I want to say like a single man, right? Like they don't have any kids, so it's a different dynamic for them,
Sure.
and they're trying to integrate themselves into your lifestyle or,
Mhm.
you know, your family or whatever. Because at the end of the day, like you're potentially going to become one. Like if you guys
Yeah,
get married and like all
yeah,
that stuff, it's hard for me, right? Because like I think in a perfect world, it's like, yeah, like integrate yourself into that dynamic.
right.
Like, of course, I want you to be there for my kids and, you know, all that stuff and be a father figure in a sense. But it's like when we look at the reality of the situation, it's not like the father of my children is completely absent.
Mm,
He's present for the most part, but it's like they know that they have a dad. They know exactly who their dad is. And
yeah,
so it becomes the lines become a little skewed because it's
yeah.
not necessarily like they need, you know, a dad. Like,
Mhm.
because I'm going to be their mom no matter what,
Of course.
unfortunately, you know, for the step parent, I kind of feel like it's one of those things where, as much as I would like to believe in the fantasies and the romance and like all that stuff, it's like really like at the end of the day, if we break up, those are still my kids, like at the end of the
Yeah,
day, versus you get to go on and do, you know, all the other
yeah.
things. And I'm like,
You know, it's interesting that you say that too, because I wonder at what point of like being together and then maybe if you do break up, but like if you have someone as a like a bonus parent in their life for a year, 2 years, 5 years, like 10 years, whatever.
right,
Not that they necessarily have rights, but like would they still be in the kid's life?
right,
Like I can't imagine being with someone and they become like truly a parental figure,
yeah,
like we are living together, we have our day to day, we like have all these things, and then like they're just not going to be in my son's
right,
life, you know what I mean?
yeah,
Like even with my ex-boyfriend, Gray was like, oh, but we're still friends, right? And I was like,
poor guy.
sure, you know,
Mhm.
I mean, it's long distance, like it's
Mhm.
we're never going to see him again,
Yeah,
like unless there's like a blue moon
yeah,
basically. So I'm like, no, not
yeah,
exactly, you know,
yeah,
like we could be,
mhm.
but you know, he lives in Denver and we live here and you know, whatever. But like if I need to tell my kid, like, sure, we can be friends, whatever he thinks that means, okay, you know,
Mm,
but like we're not gonna actually see him again, you
mm,
know. But if he lived here and like maybe we were part of the same groups or like what I don't know, something I
yeah,
could see that and having like spent more time together versus like I don't
yeah,
know the 4 or 5 whatever 6 months that we were
yeah,
together, like it'd be a different story, you
yeah.
know.
I'm right there with you.
Yeah. So how
'Cause,
long were you guys together total?
like 6 months. And so
Oh,
that's why
okay.
it's like for the first 4 months, like everything was cool. Didn't really see him that often or whatever. But once I started like integrating him more into like my family life, I think that that's when I realized I was don't I
Yeah.
don't like, you know, him imposing his opinions about like what it like anything in regards to like my children really, which is like it's a gray area because I felt like prior to that I was like overwhelmed with all the decisions that I had to make
Yeah.
as a single mom, like
Yeah.
by myself, especially with their dad. Like he's present, we'll say, for like the most part, but he's like out and about. He's flighty. You never know where he is. Like
Mhm.
different parts of the country, different parts of the world, whatever, like kind of doing his thing. And so it's like I had qualms with that, right? Where I was just like, oh my God, like this sucks. Like I have to make all these decisions like by myself or like whatever. But then when I had somebody who was almost like trying to integrate themselves in that way, I found it to be more annoying than anything else. Whereas,
Maybe just because it was the wrong person.
yeah,
Yeah. I feel like there's probably also some amount of a conversation that you have to have with someone if they are going to be like before it gets to that point. You know what I
yeah,
mean? Like, did you guys have a conversation? Or like what was that like leading up to him not even just meeting your kids, but then also comfortable enough for him to stay the night and to be
right.
able to like have a say in whether or not they get ice cream as a
Yeah,
nighttime treat.
yeah, that's what I'm saying. I feel like we just didn't even have a conversation.
Um,
It was like one of those things where it was like a natural like integration. Like
yeah.
he met like, and I would probably do this like way differently like now,
Oh,
but
for
I think
sure.
he met my boys first.
Hmm.
And then I like introduced him to like my parents, my brothers, like whatever,
Mm,
like all on the same day.
yeah.
Not my boys, but my family all got introduced to him like the same day. And even they were like, you've been single for 3 years and this is
This is who
you're
you bring
bringing home.
home.
Like they
Oh,
were literally just,
yeah.
but I was like, no, he was like really nice and like for the most part, like very like provider mindset. Like,
Yeah.
I never had to look at a bill, never had to open
Yeah.
a car door, like,
Oh, I
that
love
kind of
that.
guy.
Yeah.
Yeah, that
Yeah.
kind of guy. But it was also like possessiveness, which I feel like people don't
Mm,
talk about enough, where it's
yeah.
like, yeah, it's great to be wanted, right? But when it's to the point where it's like you feel suffocated, like you can't
Yeah.
even do anything, because I guess there was trust issues there with us being like long distance, where like, and mind you, I'm like, I've been single and celibate for like the past 3 years. So
Yeah.
I'm like, I don't know what's going up in your noggin or whatever, but like, I'm chilling, like whether I have a person like or not. So I don't understand why you think that I would be committed to you and then all of a sudden be like, oh, I need to be outside. I just need to be
Yeah.
fucking everybody. I'm like, that's not
Yeah.
how it's gonna work.
So speaking of
But
fucking, how was that when you guys got together?
oh girl. Well, let me tell you, actually it was not bad. Prior to that, I always tell my friends I don't play in the snow, right?
Oh,
Uh, but that was the
but
first
having a
time.
Russian,
Yeah, a little spicy white boy, you know.
a
Uh,
spicy white.
yeah, I would say like we were like sexually compatible, like
Mm,
for the most part. But I guess like that's another point of contention where it's like me not wanting to be intimate with you right now is not like me being like, I fucking hate you and don't touch me like ever again. Like, and he
yeah.
would like perceive it as that, where he's literally like, I just want you and you don't want me and whatever. And I'm like, I am such an asshole. I laugh at that shit. And I'm literally just like, bro, like, I'm
So
telling you,
gross.
it's so
He's
bad.
over here being vulnerable,
Yeah.
and
And
you're
I'm
like,
just like, bro, leave me alone. Like, it's like maybe later, like, but like I would have like pretty strict like boundaries about like that kind of stuff where I
yeah,
was like, if I'm saying that I don't want to do anything, like I don't want to do
of
anything.
course, yeah.
And he was just like, you don't like me, you hate me, or whatever. And to me, I like internalize that where I'm like, you're doing too much. Cause that's
Mm,
just, I don't know, maybe he had past issues, past ex-girlfriends or
yeah,
whatever that fucked him up like that way. But I'm like, we can both be respectful of each other's boundaries. And
yeah.
he just wasn't having it.
I mean, I do think that communicates some amount of like anxiety or
Yeah.
insecurity for a guy where they take that to be like, you don't like I do think that's valid to be like,
Yeah.
hey, like it's not saying I don't like you or
Yeah.
I'm not interested in you or I'm not attracted to you. I just in this moment don't want to have sex. You
Yes.
know?
Because I know people are different, right? Sex drives are different and all that good stuff. So it's not even like a man versus women thing or whatever. It's more so just like in this particular moment, that's not something that I'm just like itching to do. And
Yeah.
again, like the older you get, me too. I have a past, sister. I
Yeah.
do have a past.
Yeah.
I grew up 5 brothers, single mom.
Oh,
It was strict as hell around there. Okay. So I
yeah.
didn't have any fun. When I turned 19, I left the country. You bet your sweet pippy I was outside.
Wait,
I
wait,
was-
hold on. Go back. Go back to where's your family from?
So we're actually from Haiti. My family
Okay.
is from Haiti. We grew up here, first generation Haitians. Pennsylvania,
Yeah.
technically, but I guess when immigration put them here or whatever, they were put in Idaho first. My dad was like, hell no, like there's just nothing for me out here or whatever. So then they moved us over to Pennsylvania, and that's where like we did a majority of our growing up and like all
Mhm.
that stuff. And then we moved back to Idaho in 2009, and it's kind of just been like home base since 2009. But in 2017, so I graduated 2016, 2017. And I was literally like, I want to go out. I want to explore the world. I want to do something fun. And there was a few things that had led up to why I ended up choosing the country that I did. But I went to South Korea. I was supposed to be there for 3 weeks. I ended up staying there for 3 months. I came back home and I was like, Mom, I'm leaving the country. Mind you, I was like 19 years old
Yeah.
and like had never been away from my mom specifically for actually any amount of time. Like even camping trips, I would cry, be like, I
Mm,
miss my mom. I want to go
yeah.
back home, that kind of stuff. But I was like, I am so tired of just like the strict everything. And I was just like, I want to go. And she, allowed me to go. So I packed up my stuff. I went and then I was there from like 2018 to 2020, like had been
Oh,
back and forth like
sure.
since then, lived there for all of 2023 to 2024. So collectively over the course of like 4-ish years, I lived over in South Korea. But for the few years that I was in college, I was exploring my wild. Let's just say that. Like as a
Yeah.
traveler, like, you know, you
Yeah.
go and you meet different people from all around the world. And I was in Korea, but you know, I'm at an international school. So it's like you're
Mm.
meeting people from all over the world and
Yeah.
you're just having fun. It's like I might see you, I might never see you again. But like, you know, there's no
But
commitment
we're living in
involved.
the moment right now.
Exactly. And as a
Yeah.
19-year-old, it's like, man, you're getting your first taste of freedom. Because I wasn't one of
Yeah.
those kids that's like, oh, I snuck into my parents' liquor cabinets or like whatever, or anything like that. Like I waited until I was like, I'm 18, I'm a legal adult. In a lot of countries in like Europe and Asia and all that stuff, the legal drinking age is 18 anyways.
Mm.
So I went out there ahead of time. I'll tell you that.
Yeah. Yeah.
So for me, I am in agreement with you where it's almost like the whole need to just be frisky like 24/7,
Yeah.
it dies down.
Yeah.
Like, you know, maybe it's the older you get, maybe it's the more experience that you have, but it's like I don't need to be fucking all the time to, you
Yeah.
know, be like, yeah, I like this person or I don't like
Mhm.
this person. And again, physical intimacy is important,
It is
right?
important.
It's
We're
yes.
not diminishing the importance of it.
Yes.
We're just
Right.
saying you
Yes.
should have some discernment with it and not be all willy
Exactly.
nilly.
Exactly. And
Yeah.
especially like in today's society, right? I realized
Come on.
you look great. So. But I realized that getting back into the dating scene, sex is disgustingly accessible,
Yeah.
you know? And it's almost like it takes away from the sanctity, if you will, where
It
like the
does.
connection that is supposed to be between two people. And I'm not saying you don't have to be in love to be fucking or anything like that. But for me and where I'm at, like right now, been there, done that, just fucked or whatever. And it was like you leave feeling so empty sometimes
Yeah.
in these situations. And
Yeah.
it's like when you've been married, when you've had children, you know what it's like to be in love. And I think that, you know, there's 7 billion people on planet Earth, right? So to come across every human being that you do is inherently a blessing because
Yeah.
it's like out of all the people in the world that I could have come across, I came across you, or I came
Mm-hmm.
across you, my significant other, this person, or
Mm-hmm.
whatever, right? So it's like for me, it's so much more than just about sex.
Yeah.
Like, you know, and when it is that easily accessible,
Right.
dating apps, you go in there, there's people like, hey, are you DTF? Do you want to fuck? Like,
Yeah.
just so openly vulgar
Yeah.
about, you know, like, this is all I want from you. It's like, if that's all I wanted, I could really get it anywhere.
Right.
So, you know,
Literally.
right. So it's
Yeah.
like, what is separating you from the rest of those people? And if they don't
Right.
have anything separating them from that, then it's like you're just the same. And at that point, what's the appeal?
Yeah.
You know? So since then, I've sat my ass down.
Yeah. Yeah.
So you've
Yeah.
been celibate for a year and a half. I would say that the last, it pains me to say, the last time I did anything was probably right before I broke up with him. And that was June of last year.
Okay. So
So
almost a year.
almost a year. I'm
Yeah.
right there with you, sister girl.
I get
You
it.
don't keep on fighting the strong fight. Actually, not you, maybe. Maybe not you for much longer.
I don't know. We'll see.
We'll
I mean,
see.
I'm not gonna be mad at it. I'm not
Yeah.
gonna lie, but yeah.
I'm like fingers crossed for you because I know,
you.
you know, how much you want love and to be
Yeah.
in married and, you know, all that stuff. She has such a positive outlook, y'all. I think it's so beautiful that she can come out of a divorce in any capacity or any sense, right? Whether it was toxic or not, which hers was, thank God, it was so healthy, you
Yeah.
know, a healthy separation. But to have that positive outlook still and be like, yes, I want to be in a relationship. And yes, I want to be in love. I still believe in love, even though it didn't necessarily work out for me. This time doesn't mean that it's not going to work out for me the
Yeah.
next time. Like, you know, and I think that's such a beautiful mindset to have. Would you consider yourself more of a optimist then?
It depends on
Yeah.
what it is, but like in this sense, yes. Or I mean, honestly, there was a time where I was like, men suck. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? And or like being in situations in dating where I'm like, man, the dating pool, like it sucks, or I don't know if my person's here in Boise, or like just like more negative thoughts about that. And then in sort of reframing and reshaping my thoughts about it, I'm like, well, but I know like my friends, for example, they met good men
Yeah.
and they're in happy marriages. And so I'm like, well, if they can meet good people here, like good men here, my person's got to be somewhere. Like, where is he? Like, I
Yeah.
hope he's here.
Yeah.
And I just have to keep my like mind open. Like, there was a time where in like not the too distant past, where I put my Hinge location into like various cities and stuff.
Mhm.
Because I'm like, oh, well, the man that like I'm supposed to be with, whether he's here in Boise or he's in like another city, he's going to be like, I have to be with that
Yeah.
woman. And
Yeah.
so I just was like gallivanting the world. I
Mhm.
was like throughout the states and just like changing my location and stuff. And well, that didn't work out. But I just have this like thought like my person is out there. I know I just have to use the avenues that are available to me and the willpower of like wanting to not just wanting to be in a relationship, but also like feeling like deep down I am meant to be with somebody in like this happy, healthy, like fulfilled relationship and like building a life with them. So I just like I can't give up because then that's not really doing myself a service in like obtaining what I truly want.
Mhm.
It just would be limiting me. So for the most part, I'm pretty positive person, but sometimes like I have been negative about it because of like getting out of a bad situation or like
Yeah.
getting fucked over by somebody or allowing them to fuck me over
Yeah.
or you know what I mean? So like there are those times where I'm like, oh, like why would you do this to me? And meanwhile, like again, that reshaping, I'm like, okay, why did I let someone do this
Yeah.
ongoing?
Yeah. I hear you on that. It's
Yeah.
like a deep reflection.
Girl, I've been through it. Like I have been through it. So yeah, a lot of
Yeah.
reflection.
I love that.
Yeah.
And your viewers know how old you are?
Yes.
35. Are you 35?
I'm 34. Yeah.
34. Okay. 34 going on 35. How much do they know about Greenbelt? How much
I
have we talked
mean,
about him? Because I'm like,
I
what can
haven't
I say?
talked
What can I
about
not say?
Greenbelt on Real Relatable, but I did talk about Greenbelt on Now We Know, which is my other podcast. And so, like, that was just
Y'all
brief,
haven't heard
though.
about Greenbelt
Girl, it's been a
yet.
month.
I was still like, I'm like, I'm sure the girls, the guys, everybody wants the tea on what's going on with Greenbelt. But it seems like that's a TBD
Yeah, yeah,
situation. So we'll see what continues to happen with Greenbelt
yes.
moving forward. This has turned into like a full on like dating segment, and I am
I know,
obsessed
right?
with it. I love
Yeah,
it so much.
yeah.
But I want to go ahead and like switch gears really quickly to just talk about like again, not in terms of dating this time, like your career, because I feel like that's initially what connected us, right?
Yeah.
Is that we're in the same field. And again, there's so many things that connected us. Black women in Idaho. We're both mothers, we're single mothers, in that same age bracket, right? Because I'm 28, y'all. And so
Me
it's
being the elder.
none of that. Honestly, I feel like at 20, listen, to me, I'm like 20. To be honest with you, I felt this way since I was like 27, but like 27 to 30, like 37, we're all the same age.
Right,
In
right.
my opinion.
Yeah.
Like, unless you're damn near like 40 or whatever, then I'm like, it might be a little bit different. But
Yeah.
I'm like, listen, we're all the same age.
Yeah.
There's no big difference. So that's why I'm like, we're in the same age bracket, okay?
Mhm.
But what was my question? I feel like I asked you a
Career.
question. Yeah. There we go. I was like, wait a damn minute. My ADHD just kicked in overdrive for there for a second. Career wise, right? You and we talked a little bit about this. You fairly recently made the change to real estate.
Mhm.
I don't want to reiterate anything they know, but
Yeah.
yes, you fairly recently just made the change to real estate. You're doing well within
Mhm.
this new field. Do they know the inspiration behind why you got into real estate?
No.
Let's talk about it. See, I'm asking all the good questions, y'all, because it might be something that you could consider doing as well, like
Yeah.
in your state, wherever you're at, you know. So, what got you into real estate?
I met the founders of the team that I'm on through Keller Williams and a hot tub out in Ketchum, Idaho. So I was on a like a little vacation with my son, and this was like November, December of 2023. And so we're out at the pool. They had like these heated pools, and there were these two guys that were like in the pool and hot tub and whatever. So we sparked up conversation and learned that they're real estate agents here in Boise. So we stay connected, and then I learn over this that following summer, so like July-ish of 2024, that they were hiring for a real estate agent. And at the time, I was like miserable in my job at the hotel, and I was having like all of these things that were put onto my plate that I just simply didn't have the bandwidth for. And I was about to be set up for failure. And so I was like, well, I need to have an out. And I need to have an out that I can feel good about.
Yeah.
So I decided to start studying for my real estate exam. And fast forward to January of 2025, I got my license and like, got into the business. And so really I did it as a means of making and like making money on the side, but then also like if I ever needed to fall into something, I would have that in place. And so that's basically how I got into real estate. But also like getting to merge the world of like the saleswoman and the hospitality career that I built over, those 15 years, and be able to like do something that's maybe more impactful or more meaningful,
Yeah.
where like finding a home is such a big deal, you know
Yeah.
what I mean? For most people, not like we're not talking about investors who are just like what makes the most money, but like people who really want to like have a home where they raise their family or like they set their roots, stuff like that. So being able to be part of that was important to me.
I love
Yeah.
that. Love that so much. I feel like to kind of like wrap things up, right? Because we've talked about so many different things. The last question that I'd have for you is if you had any advice that you would give to young Donna,
Mm.
young Cerose, young women in general, right? Knowing what you know now in your 34 beautiful years of life, having children, being married, being divorced, now dating again, switching careers, all the things that you have been through, just a blanket of advice. What would you tell us?
Uh, it's so hard because like there's so much of the experiences that I've had that have shaped the woman that I am now. And so to some degree, I'm almost like telling the younger version of myself through my son
Mm,
and the way that I'm raising him and the
mm,
way of which I wanted or like I would want to have been raised,
yeah.
and just instilling more of like that self-confidence and self-assuredness and like getting to recognize who he is, who he can be, so that way he makes good decisions, for his future. So if I could like go back and retell or re-raise like little Donna, it would be instilling those things that I'm doing with my son.
That's beautiful.
Yeah. So it's like, but it changes, it changes the trajectory, it changes the experiences that I have and all that. So it's hard to want to go back and redo
Right.
necessarily. But the best that I can hope for is like from this point moving forward, or, with my son, like how he is raised and what his life will be is like being able to try and remove a lot of the hardships
Mm,
that I didn't necessarily like the unnecessary hardships that I
mm,
went through. It would be to remove those by like creating a confident and knowledgeable and capable person
mm.
from the get-go.
I love that. Honestly, if I've taken any nuggets, right, words of wisdom from Miss Donna today, first of all,
Not Miss Donna!
no, 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 like Miss Donna, you know what I mean,
Oh,
like
okay.
little Miss Donna type thing, not Grandma Donna. Damn,
Right? Grandma Donna.
yeah. But if I could take any words of advice or anything like that, first of all, I want to say the whole conversation was very fruitful. Of course, like
Mhm.
as we're growing and budding our friendships, it's amazing for me to be able to have the opportunity to sit down with you and just to get to know you more as a person. And again, thank you so much. I always feel so honored and special when people trust me enough to share, things
Yeah.
that have happened through them to them throughout their lives, or, just be open and honest and vulnerable. Women, not men. Don't ever do that shit with me.
To be clear.
Exactly. Women. but it was a lot of enlightenment for sure. And for me, it was just like, damn, there's so many things that I feel like I could learn from you, to be honest, just in terms of navigating life. I see a certain level of peace. I see a certain level of patience, you know, these things that I aspire to have, because clearly I'm not peaceful or patient. But it was so amazing. I thank you so much for inviting me to come onto your podcast and not only give me the opportunity to, you know, chat you up and get to know you more, but also open up the doors for your viewers to get to know you on the more deeper and, you know, intimate level that I'm going to hope to continue to see from you in the future.
No, I mean, I appreciate it too, because like I don't often get to do this. Usually I'm the one who's hosting, the one who's asking more questions, and like I'll share and stuff, but it's not like to the depth of this. So thank you for coming onto the podcast and agreeing to create our DC podcast.
Period. It's the Donna Show, y'all.
Yeah, right. It was. But yeah, like this has been really nice, and I'm glad that we got to do this, and I appreciate you being a willing participant.
Of course. Yeah. Me too. You're welcome.
You are welcome.
Y'all watching, you're welcome. You probably got more to know, like you got to know more about Donna in today's episodes than you have the past
several years.
Yeah,
I mean, I'm not gonna lie, like you're not wrong.
Yeah. I'm gonna make sure we get the tea out of her every time. Yeah. So you get to know her more deeper, more intimately.
Yes.
I was gonna say something, but I was like, let me shut up.
Oh, I was gonna take a turn.
I was gonna make a joke about never mind.
Oh my gosh. That's it. Time to sign off.
Oh my gosh.
Thank you guys for tuning in. You can find me on Instagram at Donna Janine, or the podcast on YouTube at Donna Janine as well. And Miss Cerose, how can we find you?
Like Instagram, TikTok, Facebook, YouTube. I'll make sure to give all my ads to Donna. Yes. Thank you.
Thank you for
coming on. Appreciate you, girl.
This was good.
It was great. Yeah. This was so fun.
I don't think I've stopped blushing since we started. Really?
Yeah.